What's going on, boys? How you doing? Yush, what's going on? I don't know who else is in here, but let's get this going. We restarted the Wi-Fi yesterday. Hopefully there's no lag. But let's check it out. SPY, so obviously just a relief bounce. The end of the day showed you what kind of action is in order here. So the last 2 or 3 weeks we've been just bouncing. So right before OPEX, like I told you, they front ran OPEX. They sold it off. Big gap down. What's up, AV? What's up, Gravinder? How you doing? Just a relief bounce. This was a 4 or 5 day bounce right here, or 4-day bounce, and then we went right back to lower lows. And this time, whoa, it was day one. Sorry, someone's fixing the AC behind us. What's up, Gravinder? How you doing, bro? Is it another relief bounce, or do we get back to this bounce's highs? This is the most important level on SPY right now, is 44467. To switch the market back into bull control, we need to break 44467, and that's a far way away. Today we closed at 433, so we still need a 11-point move up to switch in favor of the bulls. Right now the bears are still in control. Today was just a relief bounce. Don't get too bullish or bearish, in my opinion, right now. This morning we were very oversold. We went on a rip. I believe it was just a bunch of shorts covering. And then what happens when you're down this much? How you doing, Ricari? What happens when you're down this much and it's a bear market? There's wicked bounces, right? Ricky does everything, bro. You have no idea. He fixes ACs too. So every time there's a big rip, more bears jump on, and then they rip it more, and then those bears have to cover. So it's just a big short squeeze, and this morning we had exactly that, as you see here, just a huge rip. And then we just kind of based between these two levels. The two levels was yesterday's high of 433.96. And today's was 435.17, which was just around my ES resistance of 43.55. So that's how I got those two levels. And as you guys seen here, there was not enough strength to break either way for a long time. End of the day here, it poked its head out. But as Goldman Sachs told you guys, it was just a fake range breakout. Got a lot of bulls stuck up here, and then they just dumped it on them. So that's why I say don't get too bullish or bearish right now. We are in a bear trend. So like I said, in bull markets you buy dips, in bear markets you sell rips or short rips. So that's exactly what happened. We got a big rip and they sold it off at the end of the day there. Let's see where we open tomorrow. We did close under VWAP, so right now the bears are still in control. Let me get rid of these. One thing I did point out yesterday was there's an RSI divergence, which is a very important thing to notice. It could be nothing, but it definitely has to be taken note of. What happens is, what I mean by RSI divergence is, look at this, RSI is moving up. You see how this low was lower than this low, but when you look at the price action, this low was higher than this low. So that's called positive RSI divergence. That means momentum is changing. So do we get follow through tomorrow, or do we just dump to lower lows? Either of them are possible. It's just something to keep just keep in mind. What's up, Vlad? How you doing? So that RSI divergence is gonna play key. Let's see if we get more follow through tomorrow. There's a huge volume shelf right here. As you guys see that red line, that's exactly where we rejected. And that's at 435.44. 435.44, 435.50-ish. It's gonna be a hard level to close above. Let's see if we can get above it, because we've stopped underneath there like 4 days in a row. So that level is key. And then obviously the gamma levels that I send you guys in the morning are very important as well. QQQ's been the weakest for a while now. Today, that's why it bounced the hardest. So we just had to, what I wanted to see was yesterday's high and yesterday's low are two of these yellow lines, and we have to see which way it breaks. Today we did break to the upside, but it was just a complete fake out. Look at this, complete run, broke out, trapped all the bulls, and then they just dumped it on them. So the market's just playing games here to see how many people, the most amount of people it can screw is what it's trying to do right now. So QQQ, same levels as yesterday. You still got to break above 358.86. A close above 358.86 is very bullish for tech. A close below 350.32 is very bearish for tech. So just pay attention to those two levels, and until we break one of those, we're just going to be in equilibrium. XLF was strong today as well. That helped SPY go. In the morning we had a little 15-minute dip and then just a straight tear like the rest of the indices. Completely ripped sideways. I had yesterday's high drawn out as well. We broke through yesterday's high much faster on XLF than we did on QQQ. which indicates that XLF was even stronger than QQQ today. And then when we broke down at the end of the day, we barely lost yesterday's high, whereas QQQ, well, I guess the same thing could be said for that. QQQ also closed above VWAP. SPY did not. So those are just things to take into consideration here. QQQ and XLF are very strong, whereas SPY and IWM both closed below VWAP, I believe. What's VWAP on IWM? IWM was 221.27, and we closed at 221.27. So we closed exactly at the VWAP? No, come on. No, the close today was 221.02. So we did close below the VWAP on IWM. So the strongest two sectors right now are tech and financials. Weakest two are SPY and IWM. I know I said QQQ, tech, and financials make up most of SPY, but there's more sectors in there. They also hold healthcare and a bunch of other sectors, but the biggest weightings are in financials and tech. That's why I only watch those two. You can watch healthcare, which is XLV. You can watch retail. You can watch the others, but it's all that matters. Tomorrow, the main level for ES is 43.40. So my levels that I have on ES are just taken from a lot of places. So just keep these levels in mind if you want to make a note of them. 42.50 is the absolute put wall here. 43.55, I believe, was the gamma wall. Let me check that again. I don't even think I drew it because it was so high. I think it was 4,500 was the absolute call wall. So the absolute put wall is down here at 42.50, and 4,500, I believe, was the call wall. I'll check and get back to you guys in the chat later. But other than that, these are just the levels I'm watching on ES, and you can see how well they work. Like today, we just called out the shorts almost right at the top. The only thing was we shorted, I think, here. But if we got a quick move down, we got paid a lot more on those puts. What the market makers did was they knew a lot of people were taking puts there, so they just kind of chopped up everyone and then dumped it at the end of the day, thinking everyone would be out there, right? 4355 LB. Thank you. Yush is paying attention. I like that. All right. So you make so much money. Yeah, so that's why I have this 43.55 line up here. 43.55 was one resistance. 43.40 was another resistance. Support was at 43.13, 42.90, and 42.82 was the supports I had drawn. So just got to keep watching it. Let's see how it reacts overnight and into tomorrow. VIX was weak all day. We lost yesterday's low, which was why we went on that bull run. But remember, if this is not the low, if this is the higher low, we can explode. And if we break through 2474, this is going to be a lot more volatile. 2474 has been rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. 2474, huge level on VIX. If we close tomorrow above that, expect the market to be much lower. If this is not the higher low yet, and we do come down more, then the market can rip for a few more days. But right now, bulls are not in control. It's still in control of the sellers, so be aware of bullish entries. Don't get too bullish right here. Let's check out some charts now. So first we'll go over Amazon, everyone's favorite as usual. Again, rip in the morning. Look how much they dumped it at the close. So we opened today on Amazon at 32.05, and we closed today at 32.21. So a grand total of 16 point move on a $3,000 stock is not much at all. At one point today, we were almost up. 32.60 was the high. At one point today, we were up almost 60 points. Okay. So we ended up only up 16 points. So that's something to take into consideration. Like I always tell you guys, when a stock goes straight up and consolidates, you don't want to lose 50% of that. So let's just do what I do. If you lose more than 50% on consolidation, it's usually not healthy consolidation. Obviously, there's always exceptions to this rule, but we did lose a lot more than 50% on this. Let me check this out. Hold on. 32.60. So the whole move was $58 and we lost $42 out of that. So yeah, it's way more than 50% what we lost today on Amazon. Not healthy consolidation at all. It just looked like a relief rally into more dumpage. So let's see if Amazon opens up or down tomorrow. One level you need to watch on Amazon, very key level, is 3172 to 3182 level. It's a very key support here. Hold on, let me draw this line too, just so you guys know. So this 3184-ish to 3172 area is very key. If we lose that, it looks like it's gonna flush. It's right underneath the head and shoulders pattern as well. Needs to hold this neckline or it can go way lower. What's up, Peter? How you doing? BT was great today. I heard it went up a lot. MRK, just a little more consolidation. This one looks absolutely fine to me. I mean, they released the COVID pill. It's still holding the power earnings gap. Not even an earnings gap, it's on news. It just needed some consolidation just to cool off the RSI and the stochastics. Let's see if it consolidates a few more days. We still have those $80 calls for January. They're up more than 230%. So this one looks absolutely fine. I don't even watch it that much unless it gets into this gap down here under $80.63. That's when I'll start reassessing. But for right now, I'm just holding. We have a lot of time on those, and they had huge news. I do expect it to keep running. DOCN called out yesterday the $80 calls for 2 something. We were selling this morning at 420 for 50%. So yeah, I bought them at 280. The $80 calls for October 15th for 280s. Today we're selling them for 50% at 420. 50% overnight is a great trade, especially when you put on some size. I'll go over all of them. So DOCN the candle ended pretty dirty today. It kind of faked out everyone as well. 81 was a big level. We got above it, closed a few candles, and then just completely dumped after that. Went right back into this gap from yesterday. So it is possible we fill the gap all the way down to 70, 78-ish. But other than that, we still have a week and a half on these calls. And still have a week and a half on these calls, and this is a very strong stock. Let's see if it gets going. Other than that, today's candle is probably the ugliest candle it had in a long time. Every other candle, they bought the dip. Today, they did not buy the dip. We ended near the low of the day. Boeing, the 230s we have are just around break even right now. Again, this is a weekly play, so we still have a week and a half on the play. But if it doesn't get going soon, I will cut it because we are in a bear trend still. Boeing's just been all over the place. It's been up, down, all around, just chilling. But the weekly still looks nice. We're still above the moving average. All we need on Boeing this week for this play to be valid still is a close on Friday above 223.72. If we close below 223.72 by this Friday, I will cut it before the weekend. But if it looks like we're closing above, I might even hold it until next week. Let's see. It all depends on the market as well. BA, huge stock. Everyone knows it. Let's see if this weekly breakout plays out or if it needs a few more weeks. Airbnb was super weak this morning for some weird reason. Nothing really special on this one. Again, I want equity at 154.50. I don't even like it until then. Today we went down to 162.43, but I do want 154.50. SC was super strong today, and we didn't even dump as much as we did on Amazon and everything else. So keep an eye on SC now. We're still in that range that I called out a while ago. The range is between 325 and 315, so we could chop around in this range for a while unless we break to one side or the other. Today we got very close to the upper 325, but we sold off after it. So we need to close above 325 for SC to run back to all-time highs, or we need to close below 315 for a short on SC. Other than that, it's just sideways equilibrium. Tesla, huge news yesterday and just sold off all day. So you guys seen Tesla was running into that news. It looks like they pre-bought the news and sold, or they bought the rumor and sold the news again. Beautiful daily bull flag and breakout, and then retest. Let's see if we can get going tomorrow. But Tesla, I won't even touch it until it's back around 800 for a swing trade. You can still scalp it, as my stock life did all day today. Great job to you guys. But there's no technical play for a swing trade right now, in my opinion. It is sitting on top of the bull flag breakout. So if I was to bet here, I would bet long, but for me, it's not enough evidence. I need some follow through. And the problem with this one is now, for a confirmed breakout, you need to get above 797 on Tesla. If you get over 797, you can swing this one, but that's a far way away. You're gonna have to wait 17 points up to take a swing trade on this. Other than that, just scalps. Nike, so this one is a very interesting stock. Why? Because earnings gap up, right? This is called a power earnings gap. Ran up, came right back down, They blew their last earnings bad and they dumped, right? They dumped right back into this gap. This is a huge gap. This whole purple box is a gap. The gap is from 150.23 to 134.59. And today we tried to break back above there, but we rejected and came back down. We are in Nike puts for 149s for Friday. End of the day looked weak. A lot of sellers showed up at the end of the day. Other than that, I mean, if it continues bearish, we can fill this whole gap. Don't think it's not possible. We might need more time on those puts, but let's see what happens tomorrow. It did hold the 200-day, which is a little bit concerning. The 200 days at 145.14. But if we go back down and test that 145.14 now, it's probably more likely to break just because all the buyers were accumulating here. So if it gets back down, I don't think they'll have the same confidence as they had the first time. So let's see if we can get that move down quick. And as you guys see here, by the 200-day moving average, there's a big empty hole here. So straight from the, if it breaks the 200-day moving average to the downside, we can potentially flush straight to 138. So keep that in mind on Nike. I'm still holding my puts overnight. Let's see if we can get a down open tomorrow. AMD was strong today along with Netflix. Super strong, just kept running all day. End of day dumpage with the rest of the market. Netflix didn't even dump as much as the market at the end of the day. This is just insane power. We showed you guys this chart like 40 times in my stock life. The weekly was so set up. It was probably the most beautiful chart I've seen in a long time. Just looking at this range. So the range was from 569-ish. The weekly range that I had drawn out right here. 568, 569, whatever you want to call it. We got a weekly breakout and then a pullback and a retest of that huge range. And look at the weekly candle since. So the first week that we tested it, after that, we went up 3.5% the next week. And this week, we're already up 3.5%. So a total of like almost 8% move on Netflix ever since we retested that. We had 605s and 610s. We got great gains off those. We should have rolled up to 620, 615, 620s. But we did not. It's okay. I'm happy with my gains. And let's see how far Netflix can go. Huge bull volume today. Lots of strength shown in this one. Even when the market was going down, Netflix was going up. So BTBT was great today. Obviously, Bitcoin got over 50K. I had this line drawn out. We just ripped right through today. So BTBT was up 36% today. I got burned on this stock in the past, so I just stopped watching it. I am in any and just a bunch of crypto. Other than that, huge breakout, huge volume. If Bitcoin can keep going, this one can definitely keep going as well. BTC USDT is still over 50. Like I told you guys in the chat, again, everyone else was crying. I said this is a falling wedge. Why did I say that? This is the exact same kind of falling wedge that we entered at 31K on Bitcoin. We were selling up here in the 50s, and then we re-entered it down here as called out. It's a free chat. I don't know why you guys aren't in it. Broke through all my fib lines. The next fib line is 52.920. If we break through 52.920, all-time highs is coming on Bitcoin. If we stall there, we might go sideways within this range of 50K to 52K for a little while until we get a breakout. I'd rather that. It's more healthy. If we stopped at 52920 and just kind of bounce around for a bit and let people accumulate, then we break out. That would be a more powerful breakout than if we just straight rip through the level, in my opinion. Just like this right here. You guys see this? You see how it just kind of accumulated and then a huge breakout. So that's what you kind of want to see on stocks at big resistance points. You just want it to flag underneath and then rip through. What else do we want to see? But Bitcoin looks absolutely great, especially with Powell's comments on they're not expecting to ban crypto at all. You got Square here. Square, I don't really like it. Maybe for a scalp or a bounce play or whatever, but as you guys see here, I already have the range drawn on it. The range is 197.70 to 278. Every time it gets up to 278, sell it or short it. Every time it gets down to 197, buy it. Other than that, there's not really a pattern that I see on Square here. Just kind of another relief rally. We didn't even close above yesterday's high, so yesterday's high was 236.29. Today's close was 235. Yeah, so we closed below yesterday's high. I don't really see much on Square here. We could get more of a bounce or we could just switch it back, but right now it's just in the middle of the range, so I don't really see like a very certain play on here. Just scalp it if you want. I wouldn't hold it for a couple weeks unless we get some serious momentum or news or something. RTX, This one I actually really like, and it's not just the chart that I like. The chart does look actually pretty good. So RTX, if you're not, oh, yeah, RTX has a beautiful chart. Look at this weekly right here. Very, very clear resistance at 89.22. So a break and close above 89.22 on RTX should send this one flying. We kind of got almost the inverse head and shoulders here forming too. It's a very, very nice chart. Good find, Kevin. Yeah, so I just want, the only thing that I care about on this RTX is 89.22. The reason I like this one is because of because China is flying aircrafts over Taiwan, and they might be getting ready for war. And if they do go to war, U.S. might have to get involved. And RTX is known as a defense company. So RTX, another one is LMT, which looks way worse than RTX. So nice chart there. I really like that RTX play. If we do close above that 89.22, was it that? Yeah, 89.22 is a very clear resistance. If this Friday looks like we're going to close above 89.22, I might jump into calls for myself for next week on RTX. So very nice find here. I will definitely keep this one on the watch list. SPY, no. So RTX, why is RTX a different chart than SPY? Look, RTX is almost at all-time highs. Look how many times it's tried this resistance. And this is at all-time highs. And there's a reason for it to go up. There's tension, there's war tension, right? So that's why it has a catalyst, it has a beautiful chart, and it's very close to resistance. The difference between that and SPY is I don't really see a catalyst in SPY other than them passing the debt ceiling. We're not even close to all-time highs. We've been selling off for 2 weeks straight. Every bounce cannot even get past the previous high. So it's completely different here. You could call this is daily consolidation. You could even call it a weekly bull flag, just retesting the 21-day. But other than that, RTX is a much, much stronger chart in my opinion. And that's the only reason I'm saying it's different. But that's a very nice chart, Taka. Good job finding that one. How many different names do you have, man? I swear you changed your name like 6 times in Discord, and you're Kevin Tap on here too. But yeah, thank you guys for attending. I will see you tomorrow.